Hey everyone, welcome back to the Velveting Stories. Today I'm excited to share with you the incredible story of Storm, a wild, lovable husky who turned one family's life completely upside down. From hilarious chaos to touching moments, this story has it all. So grab some tissues, get comfy, and let's dive into the unforgettable journey of Storm and the family who learned what unconditional love really means. Let's get started. Ethan and Claire Parker had moved to Pinebrook seeking a fresh start, a place where city noise gave way to the hush of pine trees and the wild whisper of mountain winds. Their little daughter Lily was just a baby, her curious eyes reflecting the hope of new beginnings. The cabin they'd found was small but warm, nestled on the edge of a vast forest that promised adventure and a touch of wildness to their new life. The day they found Storm was a day that would change everything. Claire had seen the flyers at the local market, Husky puppy available, free to good home. Their first visit was tentative. A bundle of silver and white fur greeted them, eyes bright and mischievous, a wild heart pounding in his tiny chest. Storm was nothing like the calm, obedient dogs Ethan had read about in his books. He was rambunctious, stubborn, and full of untamed energy. But beneath the wild exterior, there was a spark that caught their hearts instantly. Lily, barely able to walk, was enchanted by Storm's antics. He chased her little feet, nipped gently at her blankets, and howled in a way that seemed to speak directly to her soul. The three of them, human and dog, soon became inseparable. The early days were chaos. Storm tore through the cabin, shredded cushions, and left muddy paw prints across every floor. Ethan's patience was tested as he struggled to work on his writing amid the chaos. Claire juggled caring for Lily and trying to keep Storm out of trouble. But even in the mess, there was laughter, wild, loud, and full of life. Storm was a storm indeed. He led them on hikes through the tangled woods, swam in icy mountain streams, and once even ran headlong into a swarm of bees, only to come back with his muzzle swollen, but spirit unbroken. One night, a fierce thunderstorm rolled over Pinebrook. The wind howled through the trees, and rain lashed against the cabin windows. Lily woke frightened, her small cries echoing in the dark. Storm was there instantly, nudging her gently, curling around her protectively. In that moment, Ethan saw more than just a dog. He saw a guardian, a fierce, wild protector with a heart bigger than the mountains around them. As the seasons changed, so did their lives. Storm's wildness tempered with time, replaced by a loyalty that ran deep. He was there for Lily's first steps, her scraped knees, her laughter and tears. He was a companion to Claire in quiet moments and a muse to Ethan's restless creativity. The forest around Pinebrook was alive with secrets, and Storm seemed to know them all. He'd disappear for hours only to return with a tired but triumphant look, as if he'd faced the wild and won. One afternoon, Ethan followed Storm into the woods, curious where the wild dog led. They came upon a small clearing where wildflowers bloomed, and the sun filtered through the branches like golden rain. Storm lay down, eyes soft, as if inviting Ethan to sit and share the peace. It was in moments like these that Ethan understood. Storm was not just a pet. He was a bridge between the civilized world they left behind and the wild, untamed beauty of nature. With Storm, they had found something rare, a connection to the wild that was both fierce and tender. Through every muddy paw print, every howl beneath the stars, and every quiet moment by the fire, Storm wove himself into the fabric of their family. And in doing so, he taught them what it truly meant to love without boundaries. A wild, beautiful kind of love that could weather any storm. The winter after Lily's first birthday was harsh, even for Pinebrook. The snow came heavy and relentless, blanketing the town in thick white silence. Storm thrived in it. His thick fur was perfect for the cold, and he raced through drifts like a ghost, disappearing and reappearing amid the trees. One morning, Ethan woke to find Storm missing from the bed where he usually slept. Panic rippled through him. Claire was still asleep, but Ethan pulled on boots and coat and stepped outside, the cold air sharp and biting. "Storm!" he called, voice cracking. His heart pounded with worry. A bark echoed back faintly through the woods. Ethan hurried after it, crunching through fresh snow, branches scraping the wind like whispers. The forest was a maze, but Ethan's desperation fueled his steps. He found Storm standing near the edge of a frozen creek, alert and tense. Nearby lay a small bundle, Lily's red mitten caught in the snow. Storm turned to Ethan, eyes shining bright. Then he barked again, a sharp, urgent sound. Ethan followed Storm's gaze and spotted a flash of movement near a fallen tree. A small, frightened kitten was trapped beneath the ice, paws stuck in a crevice. Without hesitation, Ethan scrambled down and carefully freed the tiny creature. It trembled in his hands but was alive. Back at the cabin, Claire and Lily waited anxiously. When Ethan and Storm returned, carrying the soaked but safe kitten, relief flooded the room. Storm's eyes met Ethan's, and something unspoken passed between them. That night, as the family settled by the fire, the kitten, now named Willow, cuddled against Storm's thick fur. Even Storm's wild heart had room for one more. Storm taught them all about loyalty and courage in ways words couldn't capture. Through every mistake and triumph, he was their fierce protector and their soft-hearted friend. Spring arrived with a burst of color and warmth, melting the snow into muddy streams and fresh grass. The forest around Pinebrook came alive again, and with it, Storm's energy soared. He became a shadow racing through the trees, a blur of silver and white against the greens and browns. Lily, now toddling confidently, adored Storm. Wherever she went, he was there, a gentle giant protecting her from the world's sharp edges. Claire watched them with a mix of pride and wonder. The dog and child bonded like they'd always belonged together. One afternoon, while Ethan worked on his writing in the cabin's little study, he heard a sudden commotion outside. Rushing to the window, he saw Storm, barking furiously, circling something on the ground. Claire grabbed Lily and followed Ethan outside. They found Storm standing protectively over a fallen fawn, its leg twisted painfully under its small body. Claire's heart ached. "We need to help it," she said softly. With care, Ethan and Claire lifted the fragile creature and carried it inside, setting up a makeshift shelter. Storm lay nearby, watchful and calm, his wild energy tempered by tenderness. Days passed, and the fawn, which they named Fern, slowly regained strength. Storm became her unlikely guardian, keeping watch and even sharing his warmth on cold nights. Lena, the wildlife photographer who had returned to Pinebrook that spring, came by to help. She marveled at the bond between Storm and Fern, capturing moments of pure trust with her camera. Ethan felt the story growing inside him, a tale not just about a dog, but about the fierce, wild love that connects all creatures. Through long walks, quiet evenings, and the tangled mess of everyday life, the Parkers learned that family wasn't just about blood or words. It was about the wild, untamable heartbeats that refused to be ignored. Storm, with his boundless spirit and fierce loyalty, was the heart of their family. A storm that brought chaos and calm, laughter and tears, and above all, love. Summer settled over Pinebrook like a warm, golden embrace. The days stretched long, filled with sunlight and the sweet scent of pine and earth. Lily's laughter echoed through the meadows as she chased butterflies, Storm bounding alongside her, always ready to protect and play. Ethan had finally finished his manuscript. Sitting by the window one evening, he read aloud to Claire and Lily, the words flowing like a river, raw and honest. Stories of wild dogs and wilder hearts, of love that doesn't always fit neat boxes. Storm rested his head on Ethan's lap, his blue eyes watching the flicker of the candlelight. The Husky had become more than a pet. He was a teacher, a friend, a reminder that life's beauty often came wrapped in chaos. But summer's warmth was a fragile thing. One afternoon, while hiking near the ridge, Storm disappeared into the forest. Panic clawed at Ethan and Claire as they called for him, their voices swallowed by the trees. Hours passed. The sun began to dip, painting the sky with fire and shadow. Then from the depths of the forest came a familiar howl, strong, clear, and wild. Storm returned, limping slightly, his fur matted but eyes bright. He had been chasing a stray coyote, protecting Lily, who had wandered a little too close to the edge of the woods. Ethan knelt beside him, heart pounding. "You saved her," he whispered. Storm gave a low, tired growl, nuzzling Lily's hand. That night, as the family gathered around the fire, the ache of fear mixed with the fierce pride of love. Storm, wild and free, was their guardian. Imperfect, untamable, but theirs. Seasons turned, and with them came the inevitable changes. Storm grew older, slower, but no less fierce in his love. Lily learned to read by his side, telling him stories she made up, her small fingers tracing the lines of his thick fur. Claire often thought about how much Storm had shaped them, teaching patience, joy, and the raw, unfiltered beauty of life. Ethan's book was published, dedicated simply to Storm, the wild heart that taught me how to love. In the quiet moments before sleep, the family held on to the wildness Storm carried in his spirit, a storm that had passed through their lives and left them forever changed. Years passed like whispers in the wind, and Storm's once vibrant coat began to dull, his steps slower but no less steady. The wildfire that burned in his eyes softened into a calm glow, a lifetime of loyalty etched in every line of his face. Lily grew from a curious child into a thoughtful young woman, her heart forever marked by the lessons Storm had taught her: courage, love, and the beauty of being untamed. One cold autumn morning, Storm lay beside the fireplace, his breathing shallow but peaceful. Ethan and Claire sat close, holding his head gently, whispering stories of their adventures. The snowy runs, the midnight howls, the quiet nights under the stars. Storm's eyes met theirs, deep pools of love and understanding. In that moment, no words were needed. The bond they shared was unbreakable, woven from years of wild freedom and gentle trust. When Storm finally closed his eyes, the world seemed to hold its breath, a hush falling over Pinebrook like a soft snow. Grief came like a storm, fierce and unrelenting. But in that pain, there was also gratitude for the wild heart that had filled their lives with joy and meaning. Lily planted a small pine tree near the edge of the forest, where Storm loved to run. It was a living memory, growing tall and strong, a symbol of the love that never fades. Ethan's next book was different, a tribute to Storm, to family, to the messy, beautiful chaos of life. Claire often found herself smiling at the quiet moments, feeling Storm's spirit in the rustling leaves and the howl of the distant wind. Their lives, forever changed, carried the wild heartbeat of a husky named Storm, a reminder that love is sometimes wild, sometimes gentle, but always eternal. Thanks so much for watching the story of Storm. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more heartwarming and suspenseful pet stories every week. And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. Do you have a crazy or touching pet story of your own? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, keep loving your furry friends and stay tuned for more amazing stories right here. Take care.